Hey guys, so I'm back with reading my Bible and devotional, and as I think you guys can see, I'm almost to the end of this one. I'm hoping that I can probably get a new one, and probably within the next week or so. And I'll still read the New Testament and to you guys as well. So I'll read my devotional first. The first one I want to read to you guys is titled Glow in the Dark. The quote is, "You are the light of the world, a town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand. It gives light into everyone in the house. In the same way, you let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Matthew 14-16. It was a beautiful evening, and my wife was out of town. I set up an indoor camping scenario for my two daughters. I opened a tent in our living room in front of the TV. We ate dinner and watched a movie under glow in the dark stars. The dark living room represents the world we live in. When we follow Jesus, we are called to be a light in this world. We are not to dim our light and to try and fit in. We need to stay lit in order to pierce through the darkness. At the end of the movie that night with my girls, they noticed that the glow in the dark stars were not as bright. My oldest asked me, "Daddy, what happened to the stars?" I explained that in order for the stars to shine bright, they first need to be exposed to a bright source of light. As do we. We need to stay connected to Jesus on a daily basis in order to keep our light bright. Reflect. Write a list of ways you can stay connected to Jesus daily. What do you do to spread your light and allow others to see it? Imagine your actions and smile while being so bright and radiant that they catch the attention of all your peers. The second one I want to read to you guys is titled Switch Seats. The quote from the Bible is, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Proverbs 3:5-6. Most of the time we think having control of a situation guaranteed is the outcome we want, but trying to control the world will backfire. In middle school, my friend wanted a girlfriend, and because he thought that having a girlfriend would help him fit in with his boys, he took control of the situation and asked a girl to be his girlfriend. She said yes, and he was excited for a few weeks, until his boy started making fun of him and complaining about how they never saw him anymore. This was not what he had envisioned, and he ended up breaking her heart. If he had left it up to God, he would have realized it wasn't the right season to have a girlfriend and would have spent would have spared the feelings of this young girl. The need to control who can do serious damage to others. The people who we try to control end up feeling as if they are not good enough. And the things that we are trying to avoid by taking control: failure, criticism, disappointment, depression, rejection, or humiliation. We end up feeling anyway, and sometimes worse. Our strength is in switching seats. Let God take control. When you take your ego out of the equation, life is about how Jesus is and not about the self. This brings peace, humility, and a trust in God. Reflect. What or who are you trying to control? Is it yours to control? Remember that you can't control what others say, do, think, or feel. Is it for God alone? Next, I'll read my Bible. To 24. Mark 11 and 22 to 24. So Jesus answered and said unto them, have faith in God. For assuredly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, and be removed and be cast into the sea, and does not have doubt in his heart, but believes that those things he said will be done, he will have whatever he says. Therefore I say to you, whatever things you ask when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you will receive them. And whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, and your Father in heaven and may also forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive your trespasses. I kind of feel like that one resonates with me, especially this past I think 3 years. I've had one person who I have been trying to forgive, and I eventually did. If you guys don't know who I am referring to, I am referring to the young man who killed friends of mine, and when he was high on drugs while driving. Cameron Wright. Cameron himself said that what he did was selfish, and that he was sorry for causing so much much pain to the family. And I feel like forgiveness is not forgiveness for the family and for me. It's not about not really ridding ourselves of like the pain of like not forgiving him, but it was acknowledging that it was just a mistake that he had made, because everyone makes mistakes, and God calls us to forgive. Even when we go against the Lord, he always tells us, forgive. And quite honestly, that's one thing I'm working on this year, is forgiveness. Because I will not name names, but I have at least one person in my life who I have never forgiven, but they make it so hard. Because every time I think about forgiving them, they do something or say something that makes me not want to. So I just try and distance myself from that person. But it can be really hard. I usually don't really see them at school because we don't have classes together. But I see them in the afternoon and every time and during the weekends. And I try to avoid them as much as I can, but I don't really have a choice. It's not to be around that person. But I feel like especially this year, I'm just working on self-forgiveness, because I've fallen short many, many, many times, and I've always just told myself, why, because I know deep down that I didn't want all this bad and stuff happening, but my mind was not on Christ. My mind was on this world. And I feel like that's what happens when your mind is set on the world and not on Christ. You become vulnerable to the world's impulses, and you just act out. And I act out more times than I care to admit. But I'm doing my best to get better. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week.